Transmission media. The transmission media are actually located below the physical layer, and this transmission media are directly controlled by the physical layer. So if you see in this diagram, so we have the sender physical layer here and the receiver physical layer here, and we have the transmission medium. So this transmission medium can also be told as it is belonging to layer 0. We all know that in ISO OSI model the physical layer belongs to the layer 1, whereas we can call the transmission medium to be belonging to layer 0. So generally a transmission medium can be broadly defined as anything which can carry information from the source to destination. So here the transmission media can be cable or air. So now let us see the categories of the transmission media. Transmission media is broadly categorized into two different types. The first one is guided transmission media, which is wired, and the second one is unguided transmission media, which is wireless. So the guided transmission media is in turn categorized into twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable. Now the unguided transmission media, one of the examples is free space. So now we will be looking after the different types of transmission media and their properties. Now let us go to the first type of transmission media called guided transmission media. So the guided transmission media are those which provides a channel from one device to another device, wherein these guided media include twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and fiber optic cable. So now whenever the signal is traveling along any of these particular media, so this signal is directed and it is contained by the physical limits of the medium. So every medium is having its own physical limits. So the signal is contained by the physical limits of the medium. The twisted pair and coaxial cables use copper conductors that accept the transport signals in the form of electric current, whereas the optical fiber is a glass cable which accepts and transports the signal in the form of a light. Now let us discuss about the first type of guided transmission medium, twisted pair cable. So a twisted pair cable consists of two conductors which are made of copper, each with its own plastic insulation, and they are twisted together. So if you see here, this is a twisted pair cable which is having two wires which are twisted with each other. So these outer lining are insulated with the plastic material, and these are the inner conductors. If you see here, these are made up of copper. So one of these wires is used to carry the signals to the receiver, and the other wire is used as a ground reference. So in addition to the signal which is sent by the sender on one of the wires, there is a chance of noise and crosstalk which may affect both the wires and create unwanted signals. So this is the reason why these cables are twisted. So in order to avoid any interference or any noise or any of the crosstalk when that signal is being transferred from a source to destination. There are two types of twisted pair cables. The first one is unshielded twisted pair cable, commonly called as UTP, and shielded twisted pair cable, commonly called as STP. So this is unshielded twisted pair cable where we do not have any extra shielding. But coming to this particular right side image, this is called shielded twisted pair. So it is having an extra metal shield. So this is the only difference between the unshielded twisted pair and shielded twisted pair. So this shielded twisted pair has been introduced by the IBM. So if you see here, the Electronic Industries Association, commonly called as EIA, has developed the standards to classify this UTP cable into 7 categories. So these categories are determined the quality of the cable, with rank 1 or category 1 as the lowest quality and category 7 as the highest quality. So if you see the category 1, its specification is unshielded twisted pair, which is used in telephones, and the data rate is less than 0.1 megabits per second. So it is used in telephones. Okay, the second category is unshielded twisted pair, originally used in T lines. So the use is T1 lines, and all the other category cables are used in LAN. So these are all the different categories of twisted pair cables. And the next one is the connectors. So the most common unshielded twisted pair connector is RJ45. So we all know that where RJ stands for registered jack. So the RJ45 is a keyed connector, if you see here, meaning that the connector can be inserted in only one way. So this is RJ45 female connector and this is RJ45 male connector. So these are all the unshielded twisted pair connectors. So next, coming to the performance of the twisted pair cables. Here we are comparing the attenuation, which is measured in decibels per kilometer, with the frequency in kilohertz. So generally we know that the twisted pair cable can pass a wide range of frequencies. So with increasing in the frequency, if you observe in the graph, if the frequency has been increased, okay, then you can see that the attenuation is increasing sharply. See, for the frequencies above 100 kilohertz, so the attenuation is sharply increasing. So if you see that there are the different gauges of this shielded twisted pair cables also, 18, 22, 24 and 26, and the diameter of these cables is also given here. So for the with increasing in the frequency, that is which is greater than 100, that attenuation is also increasing sharply. So now coming to the applications, twisted pair cables are used in telephone lines, so which provide voice and data channels. Next, the general DSL lines which we use are also made of twisted pair cables, and local area networks such as 10 base T, 100 base T are also using twisted pair cables. So the next type of transmission medium is coaxial cables. So when compared with the twisted pair cables, the coaxial cables carries the signals of higher frequency ranges when compared to twisted pair cables. So in twisted pair cables we saw two wires, that is instead of two wires in this coaxial cable, so this coaxial cable has a central core. So if you see here, we have a central core which is a conductor of solid or stranded wire, which can be usually a copper wire, which is enclosed in an insulating sheet. So this is enclosed in an insulating sheet, which is in turn encapsulated in an outer conductor of metal foil or a combination of two. So this is the inner conductor and this is the insulator and this is the outer conductor and this is the top plastic cover. Okay, so if we see the different categories, RJ59 is used in cable TV networks, RG58 is used in thin Ethernet, and RG11 is used in thick Ethernet. So these are all the different categories of coaxial cables. So now let us see the standards of the coaxial cables. So coaxial cables are characterized by their radio government ratings, that is RG ratings. So each RG number denotes a unique set of physical specifications, including the wire gauge of the inner conductors, the thickness and the type of the inner insulator, and the construction of the shield, the size and type of. Coming to the coaxial cable connectors, so to connect this coaxial cable to the devices, we need coaxial connectors. So the most common type of connector used is Bio-Nail-Kunzelmann, that is BNC connector. So there are three types of BNC connectors. The first one is the BNC connector. Simple BNC connector is used to connect the end of the cable to a device such as a TV set. Okay, and there is next one called BNC T connector, which is used in Ethernet networks. Okay, and there is another thing called the BNC terminator, which is used at the end of a particular cable to prevent the reflection of the signal. Now if you see the performance of these cables, so here we have laid down a graph between attenuation and the frequency. Okay, so here the attenuation is much higher in these coaxial cables when compared to the twisted pair cables. That is, even though the coaxial cables are having higher bandwidth than the twisted pair cables, the signals weakens rapidly. So that is the reason there is a requirement of frequent use of repeaters. Coming to the applications, coaxial cables are widely used in analog telephone networks, and cable TV networks also use the coaxial cables. So another application is of coaxial cables is in traditional Ethernet LANs. The next one is fiber optic cable. So the optical fiber cable is having a cylindrical shape and it consists of three concentric sections. The first one is the core, the innermost one, the cladding, the outer one, and the jacket, the outermost one. Okay, so this fiber optic cable is generally made up of glass or plastic and it transmits the signal in the form of a light. So here we have to discuss about the most important property. So let us say that now we have a more dense layer, and on the top of it we have a less dense layer. So generally the core is having more density and the cladding is having less density. So whenever we are sending a signal, whenever we are sending a light signal with angle of incidence I, which is less than the critical angle, then the refraction of the light ray occurs. But whenever we are having or whenever we are sending the light signal where its angle of incidence is equal to the critical angle, then there will be refraction, that is the light ray passes along the surface. But we can use a property that whenever the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle of this particular medium, then the light reflection starts. So the optical fiber cable uses this concept. So with the help of a property called total internal reflection, that is whatever light ray you are passing inside the optical fiber cable will be internally reflected and it stays in the same layer. So it is this core is having more density when compared to the cladding. So whenever the sender is going to send the light signal or the transmission signal whose angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle of this particular medium, then the light ray stays in this particular medium only, that is it is reflected within the core itself. So this property of total internal reflection is used by the optical fiber cable so that the signal stays in the core and it is going to be received by the receiver. Generally the core has 8 to 50 micrometer diameter and the cladding is going to have a diameter of 125 micrometers. Let us see the propagation modes of the optical fiber cable. So the propagation modes are broadly classified into two types. The first one is multi-mode propagation and the second one is single mode propagation. Again the multi-mode propagation is divided into step index multi-mode and graded index multi-mode. It is named as that is this transmission mode is named as multi-mode because multiple beams of light from a light source move through the core in different paths. So how these beams move within the cable depends upon the structure of this core. Okay. So in the multi-mode step index fiber, the density of the core remains constant from the center to the edges. A beam of light moves through this constant density in a straight line until it reaches the interface of the core and the cladding. So at this interface, there is an abrupt change to a lower density that alters the angle of the beam's motion. So the term step index refers to the suddenness of this change of the light beams. So the second type of fiber is called as graded index multi-mode fiber. So the graded index fiber is the one with varying densities. So density is highest at the center of the core and decreases gradually to the lowest at the edge. So for this reason, so you see the light beams are going to travel in this particular manner. And the last propagation mode is single mode. Single mode uses step index fiber and highly focused source of light which limits the beams to a small range of angles, and that too all are close to the horizontal line. The single mode fiber itself is manufactured with a much smaller diameter than that of multi-mode fiber with substantially lower density of refraction. So the decrease in density results in a critical angle that is close to 90 degrees to make the propagation of beams almost horizontal. So next comes the fiber sizes. So optical fibers are defined by the ratio of the diameter of their core to the diameter of their cladding. So both these diameters of the core and cladding are expressed in micrometers. So the type is 50 by 125. The core diameter is 50 micrometers and cladding diameter is 125 micrometers. Then it is called multi-mode graded index. Okay, and all these three are multi-mode graded index. But for the single mode, we have core diameter is 7 micrometers and cladding diameter is 125 micrometers. So now let us come to the cable composition. So the outer jacket is made up of either PVC or Teflon. So inside the jacket there are Kevlar strands, so which are used to strengthen the cable. So this is outer jacket, this is the plastic buffer. So this is Kevlar for strengthening the cable, and this is glass or plastic core, and this outer layer is called cladding. The next one is fiber optic cable connectors. So there are three types of connectors for fiber optic cables. The first one is subscriber channel or SC connector. It is used for cable TVs as shown here. And the second one is straight tip or ST connector, which is used for connecting the cable to the networking devices. And the third type is MT-RJ connector, so which is in the same size of RJ45. So this is also another type of fiber optic cable connectors. So if we see the performance of the fiber optic cable when compared to the twisted pair cable and the coaxial cable, here attenuation versus the wavelength, the phenomenon in the fiber optic cable, if you see here, the performance is such that the fiber optic cable is performing very well when compared to the twisted pair cable and the coaxial cable. It means we need very less number of repeaters. So if the signal is attenuating, we need more number of repeaters. But when we compare this fiber optic cable with the other twisted pair cable and coaxial cable, the attenuation is very less. Okay, for this reason we actually requires 10 times less repeaters when we compare this fiber optical cable with twisted pair cable and coaxial cable. So the advantages of optical fiber cable is higher bandwidth, less signal attenuation, it has immunity to electromagnetic interference, it has resistance to corrosive materials, it is lightweight, and it has greater immunity to tapping. The disadvantages are installation and maintenance of this fiber optic cable is somewhat overhead, and it is having a unidirectional light propagation only, and the cost of this particular fiber optic cable is also more when compared to the twisted pair cable and coaxial cable.